Throughout this season, we have chosen to spend time with 2 Psalms along with the Gospel of John. The first one was Psalm 130, the psalm that begins out of the deep. And the second psalm is Psalm 23. Now, Psalm 23 is not traditionally a part of a requiem text or musical composition. Nowadays, we do associate Psalm 23 with funerals, but it wouldn't have been associated with funerals for many, many years. When Rutter was writing his requiem, he pulled from an anthem that had already been written to begin thinking of the larger composition. He had already written his anthem, "The Lord is My Shepherd," in the 70s, well before he decided he would write a requiem. But one thing he has said about it is that anthem felt like it needed to be part of something bigger. I think that's so interesting, the idea that Psalm 23 is rich on its own, but how much more meaningful is Psalm 23 when we think of it as part of a larger story? You may know Psalm 23, you may have it memorized, but let's listen to it again. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in right paths for his name's sake." The psalm begins with such comforting words. But how much richer is the psalm when it is placed in the larger context of true grief, when it is read in the context of a requiem, or in the center of a season of Lent as we prepare for Holy Week? And how much richer are those first verses when we see the psalm continue, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Praying from out of the deep finds new meaning when we name the ways that the world can feel overwhelming. Still waters are much more thirst-quenching when we remember that water can be both life-giving and in so many ways dangerous. The psalm, as you may recall, ends, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord my whole life long." This week, as we continue on our Lenten journey, I invite you to wonder what it is like to have Psalm 23 in a larger context. What is it like to remember these words as you live your day in, day out life? What is it like to think of Psalm 23 not as something you especially read just on a Sunday morning or even just at a funeral, but if you think of these words in the context of the larger story? How might this psalm be a way of God's grace appearing and being an experience for you, and not just something that you're thinking about or talking about, but something that reaches out and grabs you this week in the larger context of the depths of your life?